Welcome back to the Film Alchemist podcast, the show where we take the movies we love, break them apart, to find out what gives them their magic. I'm your host, Josh Griffey, joined as always by my friend, co-host, and the butcher of Bakersfield.
Oh, yeah, Alex Tandino.
We all know he did it. We don't need to, see evidence or have trials. We just know he did it.
Have you been to Bakersfield? They all did it to themselves.
Before today's just thrilling, sweaty episode, a little business. Everyone, we're on Patreon. That's right, patreon.com/filmalchemistpod. The absolute best way to help support the show here, if you would be so kind. If you have a couple dollars that you don't mind throwing at the cause, we got stuff for you to make it worth your time. We have a huge Patreon exclusive library of episodes. We got miniseries, our Tales from the Crypt miniseries right now. We're also working on some new ones this year. Commentaries. We got everything. We got anything you want over there. That's what it is. You come with us and you'll be. That's how we do it over there. It's like Willy Wonka, except you don't trap you in moral fucking death traps.
Yeah.
That's the difference. It's just content.
You're not going to get murdered.
Unless you pay high enough and that's what you're into. Then it turns into one of those weird Eastern European kind of Patreons.
Then it turns into The Running Man, so it's all good.
And it's just like Hostel. No. We have Every Man Has a Price is the $1 Million Man. That's neither here nor there, guys. We appreciate the support. If you can and you want to join our amazing community that we're forming over there, patreon.com/filmalchemistpod. We appreciate you in advance.
We love you
the YouTube is Film Alchemist. Subscribe over there. The email, filmalchemistpod@gmail.com. Make sure you're leaving 5-star ratings and reviews. Wherever you find the pod, that does help us, believe it or not. We're on social media everywhere. Find us, the socials, as kids say, the socials. Yep. I don't know if that's what kids say. I would not know what kids say that well. But yeah, we're on socials. Go find us over there. We're easy to get a hold of. If you want to check out some stuff that Alex and I have been working on some bigger projects heading that way, go to misfitparade.net. You can see the short films we've been rolling out. We have an ambitious slate for 2024, so we'd love your support. Misfitparade.net. You can find all the socials, the YouTube, all that stuff over there. We would appreciate it. The year is 2017. The economy collapsed. An iron-fisted government rules the land. Their number one cudgel against the masses. And they got this one 100% right.
Yeah.
Television.
Nailed it.
Right? Television is ruled by the state. The most popular show, The Running Man.
It is legitimately terrifying how close this is to real life. Like, we've got Squid Game, the challenge out now, and I'm like, yeah, we're not that far.
We kind of have missed it by, Running Man wasn't exactly on it, but they were pretty close, right? Which is, I mean, the fact that there's now, Squid Game board games, there's Squid Game toys that my kids want. It's like, we really did not understand that show. Or at least, no, maybe we over-understood it. Maybe we looked into the abyss and we're like, you're right, these are the monsters
that's what I was like. That's what I'm talking. That's what I'm saying. Like that, I have a bunch of friends because when they started promoting the reality show they now have about it, I'm like, that makes no sense at all. Like, why would you make a reality show version of a game that is the reality of the world?
Yeah.
And then I have a bunch of friends who are like, you got to watch it. It's so interesting. I'm like, what's interesting about it? Do the people actually get killed? Because that would be terrifying.
Yeah, I was gonna say, is it more interested than the really good scripted series where there's all kinds of murder and mayhem?
I was gonna say, isn't that already?
What the Running Man did nail is there is a scene when we introduce fucking Ben Richards as the butcher of Bakersfield, and I thought it was hilarious watching a bunch of people who were older. They were the greatest generation. Now these people are boomers for us.
Yeah.
But watching them just watch a completely hackney edited video of a crime, and they just go, exactly, this guy deserves to get killed on TV
logical to me.
by men in various chainsaw-wielding costumes.
We have nailed it.
Yeah, they just watched it, and they're like, well, it's on television. It can't be wrong. And I was like, wow, that is
horrifyingly real.
Yeah, boomers got caught so unprepared for the internet.
Yeah.
And it was one of those things you used to hear, when social media was first coming out, where you'd, your parents would send you an article. Mm-hmm. You'd be like, this is fucking insane. And they're like, it's in a blog. They thought blogs were newspaper. They thought there was journalistic integrity. So the Running Man nailed two things, right? One is that we as a mass are so willing to accept bullshit.
Right.
If it's within the stream of what we want to believe. And two, we are a fucking people of carnage, man.
Okay.
Because one of the things you have to ask yourself watching this is you're like, would we actually like The Running Man? Would we actually watch The Running Man? And I honestly, I think we are at a point in society, I think people would be in for The Running Man now.
I think we're like
imagine a couple years ago when the Casey Anthony trial was happening. And it's like,
Well,
now we're going to
hang
put
on.
Casey Anthony in The Running Man. I bet we as a people would have been totally pumped for that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know about a couple years ago. I think
Dude,
we're
imagine
still,
if they put OJ in The Running Man.
I think we're still like 5 years off from being fully committed to The Running Man.
Really?
Concept.
You think we got... Dude, I think during the OJ trial, I was like, I think we would have been
no
down.
way. OJ trial, not a chance.
You don't think people would have been fine?
No way.
I think you see with this true crime wave, I think we are monsters for grisly details.
Oh no!
I know. I am.
Hang on. Like the concept, like there's a line that we have to all cross as a society that I think we're dangerously close to.
Oh yeah, I think we'd be totally fine.
I don't think we've crossed it yet. I think the difference is like this is happening in phases. Like OJ is a great example of the first phase of us all committing to the bit that like courtroom TV is all of a sudden entertainment. Because the circus that the OJ trial was, like, I remember it when I was a kid. Like, I didn't understand.
So I remember it too because we were young, but it was so omnipresent. That one had like an extra like racial element.
All right. Well,
so this movie keeps it plainly 100% white except for sidekicks.
Yeah. It was also post Rodney King. Like, it was very different. Like, that's very different.
Right. Casey Anthony is more what I'm talking. Like, that's right in the wheelhouse.
Casey Anthony, because of court TV and the advent of like the persona that is whatever that fucking lady's name is, Nancy something.
Nancy Grace.
Nancy Grace, thank you.
Oh, dude, she's our Neo Richard Dawson. It's just Nancy Grace.
I mean, yeah.
I was thinking if we're gonna, what you do is you make it Larry the Cable Guy. So Larry the Cable Guy's like, "Would you be a runner?" Right? And that's what the show's called now. It's not The Running Man. It's Would You Be a Runner?
Okay.
Right? Or maybe we call it like Run for Freedom, something like that. You'd have to have like patriotic shit everywhere.
I don't think... You
have Larry the Cable Guy out there as your judge and jury, right?
No, not Larry the Cable Guy.
You hire OAN's finest to fucking whip together these... She had 4 dicks in the last 5 years. Dude, when they brought her into the game and they're like, she slept with 2 to 3 men last.
She slept with a bunch of dudes. You're like, whoa.
She cheated in college. She's a whore. Hilarious. But you bring in OAN's finest, right? Larry the Cable Guy's there front and center. Right. OAN's finest puts together hit dossiers on all of us. And then the other thing this movie got is I love the idea of like stalkers getting so portly that they had to fucking get like Mario Karts.
Cool little Mario Karts, yeah.
This rules. You cut to the audience and we'd be much more Wall-E now. Like we'd have like soda tubes from the ceiling. Like they're playing Oxygen Mask, but it'd just be like bags of soda. Dude, we're right there. We're not that far.
That's what I'm saying. We're like, here's the thing. Because like to me, Squid Game, the challenge is to me like the test market for this whole idea, which is, are we willing to, right now, so I've never watched it, but I asked friends, I was like, I don't understand the idea of Squid Game, because the idea of Squid Game, the excellent television program, is the horror of it all. Like these inane games that you wind up getting fucking whacked.
Yeah, playing. Children's game that lead to murder.
Right. I was like, what happens when they lose the game? Like, do people actually come out and kill these live human beings for our entertainment? Like, no. They wear squibs. I'm like, nope, sorry. That is just cool. Like absolutely.
So right there, you're ready. You're fucking ready.
Well, this is what I'm saying. That's what I was getting at. Is like, now we're right there. That's the edge. That's like the razor's edge right there of programming in like the deep annals of Netflix, where they're like just belching this nonsense out. They're like, the algorithm is speaking to you.
So they have this show now called Supervillains, I think, right? And it's all of the worst pieces of shit from reality TV.
Right.
Like when New York or Johnny Bananas, right? Or Puck or Omarosa got eliminated, we as a society would not care if they got. Like if you put them in a Dr. Evil style torture chamber and Johnny Bananas is like, Yeah, I fucked everyone up. Ah! And he slid down and like fucking mutated sea bass with lasers killed him.
Yeah.
We'd be ready for that as
Absolutely.
a society.
We are. I think that with the advent of the Squid Game show, we're proud. That's why I say 5 years, because I don't think we're quite there yet. Because I think we're all desensitized enough where we would still be like, oh my god, we're like watching people executed on television. But I think we've seen enough carnage in the real world to this point where I think we're like still far enough away where we don't want to be the purveyors of that, but we're very close to being willing participants to it.
We would like it because it's curated violence. Because we're picking who the Running Man are. We would be. You're telling me the people that are like way too into cops. This isn't like their dream.
I'm not saying that it's not possible. I'm saying we're still like there's a.
I'm saying you put a fucking murder on TV right
that
now.
We still haven't crossed.
If you did this tomorrow and it was Trump versus Biden, the winner fucking gets the presidency. It would be the most watched television show in the history of mankind.
Well, yeah, because because we'd be eschewing democracy to watch these two olds.
That would have to
out.
be called like the Walker Man, because it's like two fucking olds that can't run anymore.
Yeah, exactly.
For sure. Like Trump is built like Dynamo and Biden's built like the Crypt Keeper. Yeah. So I don't know what the fucking game would be. Like, I guess the game would just like, so Biden's fucking maze would just be like ramps from airplanes. Trump's would just be like one stair.
I think a Trump versus Biden competition would be more like run a mile. Let's see what happens.
No, they'd both die. They'd both die. That's what I mean. It has to be slowly walking past the worst obstacles.
It is.
And the stalkers are just like normal voters who want to ask them a question.
Yeah.
They're just like, no, God. No.
The stalkers are just people who are like asking them questions they have to tell the truth to. And they're like,
Yeah. They're like, no, I'll take on the chainsaw guy. I'm good.
Is Dynamo available?
Yeah. Do you have any morbidly obese opera singers? I would rather not answer questions from constituents.
Oh, man, that is politics in 2024.
I'm saying,
election,
dude, if you took away elections and just said we had the Running Man now, right. And so essentially we just become a nation run by CrossFitters.
So here's the thing. I don't know. Do you remember the first time you saw this movie? I remember the first time I saw this. I was
super young. My dad had one of those things. He'd get us every other weekend, and he always would go to the bar a lot, right? So he'd get movies for us to watch while he was at the bar getting shit-faced.
Right.
And then he would get movies he wanted to watch when he was hungover during the day.
Right.
So we exclusively would just get like horror movies and action movies. So every 80s action movie I watched with my dad when he was like half asleep and hungover on the couch. So like this was like, we saw this young. Like I was probably like less than 6 years old when I saw this.
Right. Yeah, I was probably around 6 or 7 as well. And it was one of those things that my dad was like watching it one afternoon. It was like Saturday afternoon or something like that. My dad was just watching TV. And I was like, what's this? He's like, sit down. It's Arnold Schwarzenegger. I'm like, cool. And it's just like a bunch of guys around. I was like, this is interesting. Now, I, to this day, had never seen the beginning of this movie. Like, probably the first 20 minutes I had never seen.
To hell with you.
I always knew the context of why Ben Richards, which is the most, it's just, again, they've never given Arnold Schwarzenegger a non-white guy name that, like, I'm like, clearly it was not written for, like,
I mean, he
Austrian
is like the
man.
whitest of the whites. Like,
he's like, white. He's an Austrian guy who is always getting called, like, Ben Richards or Howard Johnson or something like that. Like, you know, but so
hotel chain names,
hotel chain names, which was, you know, Conrad Hilton. Oh, that guy, huh? I don't know if you've ever heard Bill Hader tell that story about he was a PA on collateral damage, and Arnold Schwarzenegger came out of his trailer. He's like, "Well, Peter and David," and it's like his like hair and makeup team. Like, wow. Then he goes, "I don't know. I could go find him." He goes, "Find them. Show me your leadership capabilities." And like, and Bill Hader's like, "I just walked around. I walked around the corner. I'm like, they're right there." He says, "Perfect." And like, it was just like one of those weird things, but every time, like especially these early movies when he's like the lead, all the line reads are like, "Show me your leadership capabilities." You're like,
but what's great is I love Arnold in this one because he's just like, I don't want to lead. My brother's going to take me to the wastelands. We're just going to go out and crush puss in the wasteland. And I was like, where did you find the fucking Muscle Beach sweatshirt, Arnold?
Yeah,
he's like, I have
where
these.
where'd you get that sweet World Gym shirt?
Yeah. So you're working at like literally an abandoned ironwork. You guys fucking run some game to fucking get out. Heads are exploding. I was like, this scene's righteous. The next scene is like, they also do the thing I love in Arnold movies at this time where Arnold always gets work detail in these. That's like this. Total Recall. It's like, so Iron Commando, Arnold always is doing manual labor where he essentially holds something up above his shoulder. So you can just get that full on. Because it's the scene where it's like, we know what you all paid for. And just across theaters in America, you just hear like fucking thousands of chubs and just little water balloon sounds on every chair. Because men and women both.
Yeah.
Like when Richard Dawson's like, I could get an extra point just for his biceps. So true.
I thought it was hilarious. I think it's hilarious too because these movies, like probably up to like T2, this is what we all know Arnold Schwarzenegger from. And then moving forward, he spent so much of the rest of his career trying to just be like normal guy behind a desk. I'm like, dude, no one is buying this at all.
Yeah, because this was like his like big sci-fi fantasy. Because this was Conan. This was, Running Man, shit like that. Mm-hmm. And then in the 90s is when he just fucking took over the world, right? Because his big ones in the 90s were, Terminator and Total Recall, I think, is the best Arnold movie ever. Like, I think that's just the best. Well, that's not true. Terminator 2 is probably...
Terminator 2 is pretty great, but I think, like...
Because I think it goes Terminator 2 is just the best movie, then Total Recall, then Predator.
Yeah.
Are probably the Arnold hierarchy.
Yeah.
But Predator's in the 80s, too, so he's doing a lot of these, like, big action guy roles.
Yeah.
And then in the 90s is where they're like, oh, this guy's, like, legit A-list box office. Let's put him in, like, mega movies. And so you do lose a little of the charm of Arnold.
Well, he just started doing, like, movies like, I had to put it this way, but it was more like Junior and things where
okay, so that was after he took over, right? Because at first he was doing once you're in, Terminator and Total Recall, they started doing like True Lies, Eraser. Like now he's in like huge fucking set piece movies.
Where he's doing like, big set piece movies.
Because Eraser is the prime example of like would have been incredible 80s Arnold.
Yeah.
But where we got it in Arnold, it was
that's what I'm saying.
It was too polished.
There was that period of like, it was like Eraser, Collateral Damage, End
Sixth
of Days. Sixth Day.
End of Days. See, that might be in my secret like favorite Arnold list.
End of Days is dope, but it also comes at that time where like he's trying to get back that like muscle man of Hollywood thing because he does like a 4-year pocket of basically like rom-coms and shit where he's trying to prove he's a good actor.
Jingle All the Way.
You're like, it's fine, man. Live your life. I don't give a shit. You're the richest guy in Hollywood. Who cares? And then he became the governor, and that was his business. But
big mistake.
Yeah, this movie is like, first off, I have to say, because again, I'd never seen the beginning of this movie. When they were describing the population of Bakersfield, I was like, there's no way there's that many people in Bakersfield, California. Fucking
well, this is this is 2017, dude. Wild things have happened in Bakersfield.
I agree. It's 2023 now. I'm telling you.
To hell with you. I won't do it. And they start whipping his ass. And this movie is like where one of the first like great like Arnold like one of those movies. Like Total Recall is where Arnold's like the Arnold sound and meme peaked is Total Recall for sure. But this was one of the first really great ones. But he's fighting and whipping ass on the helicopter. And there's that great moment where it's kind of this great like setup to the story. And this is the thing. This is a Stephen King story, right?
Yeah.
But this is a great where they say, detain him, don't drop him.
Yeah.
So even though this guy's not going with the flow, the state still realizes there is value in having meat shields between their crimes and the people.
Right.
Right? Because it is one of those, it's so funny when you think later when they're like, the government has this massive like editing facade.
No.
Where they're editing the news.
It's deep fake. That's all.
Well, no, I mean, the video we see of Ben Richards, they don't even deep fake. They literally just do a couple splices.
Yeah, they just cut it. That's all.
And so that you're sitting there, and they're like, there's still value because the government killed these people, and everyone knows the government killed these people.
Right.
They want to keep Ben Richards alive because they know that he then becomes a great boogeyman rather than just knowing that the state is suppressing uprisings. As we see later, that's the whole impetus of the Running Man, is to keep people glued to their TVs so they won't be out on picket lines, as they say.
Right.
Right? Better in front of their TV than the state. So I actually thought, I was like, this is actually like a pretty fucking amazing and scary place to start a story.
Oh, yeah.
Because it kind of, you can see the king elements kind of rising to the surface.
Mm-hmm.
And then it gets totally consumed by the game of an Arnold movie. Yeah. But you see this like really wonderful kind of premise taking shape, right?
I think
I love, they also had that great line where they're whooping Arnold. It's like, you're going to fight for this, and I'll see you in hell. The line reads in this movie are just stunning.
Line reads in this movie are impeccable.
I fucking love it, dude.
I think it's fascinating, too, because I was trying to think of, like, what an analog for 2023 would be for, like, casting Richard Dawson. Because, like, Richard Dawson being cast as,
Ryan
like,
Seacrest.
the dude... that was the first person I thought.
Or Carson Daly, but they're like they
Ryan
kind of
Seacrest.
only exist for old people like us, though.
Like
I don't think young people.
I think Ryan Seacrest is the analog.
It's Jake Paul. Jake Paul,
no,
or Logan
no.
Paul is the champion of the Running Man.
I think
He's the
Ryan
host.
I think Ryan Seacrest is the right beat.
Let me make a case, because Ryan Seacrest, we know who he is. I can't tell you where any Ryan Seacrest show exists. We're doing this on New Year's Eve, so that's where you'll see him.
Right.
I can't tell you anything else he does that exists in my world, right? He's just a guy who was huge when I was younger, and so he's in my brain. Logan Paul has huge fucking social media YouTube presence. He's the WWE United States fucking champion.
Right.
But he's a belt holder.
You're
He's
thinking
a
of someone who
fake
is
boxer.
Like, you're thinking
Prime, sponsored by Prime.
You're thinking of it I think you're thinking of it in the wrong context, though, because Richard Dawson was a game show host for an entire generation of people.
Right. We don't have game show hosts anymore.
The conceit, though, is
matter.
it is a wholesome person who you see is someone who we all knew. Like, I'm not saying Richard Dawson was a wholesome person, by the way. He kissed women on the mouth on the show. It's weird.
I think his kind of lecherous like subtext was kind of part of his charm.
Oh, I think so too, absolutely. But that's what I'm saying is, like, I'm not sure Logan. You said Logan Paul, right?
Yeah, not the Jake
boxer,
Paul, not the over boxer one, but the other one. I'm telling you, every person who's young worships that guy. So, and that's the thing. The Running Man now would take the form of it'd be him or Joe Rogan. Those are the guys. Those are the Running Man guys.
I would agree with Rogan. I think
if Rogan went offshoot and he's like, "Hey, now in my ranch in Austin, I've set up a fucking stalker zones, and I'm just providing people bow and arrow and alpha
Joe Rogan
brain."
or Ryan Seacrest. Joe Rogan or Ryan
I think Seacrest was my first because he's more of that traditional old media figure. There's no way he's popular enough now. Like, no one cares about Ryan
we all
Seacrest.
know who he is. Like, I think that's the difference,
No, we do, but no one younger than us is going to know who Ryan Seacrest is.
But the people who were... But in the movie, in the context of The Running Man, the movie, the people who were younger weren't the ones who were like... They were not the ones who were like getting up and like saying who their favorite people were.
But what you need is the people who are going to really run anything in media. You're trying to get those 20-somethings, right? Yes. So the young people are the ones that you want to keep out of the streets from rioting. The young people are always the one who are changing the world. We're entering that middle age where it's like our days of fighting for causes are done. Like, we might do little things like vote. We might send in, $5 when the Red Cross hits us up via text. We're not out in the streets changing things. So the people you're trying to placate, that's who you have to build this show for now. And I think you got to have one of those Joe Rogans. You got to have a fucking Logan Paul. Like, one of these guys have such a huge fucking audience that they have real, total, like, mind control power over.
Right.
It has to, because that's the thing. Even if they don't have credibility to everyone, to their audience, they're infallible.
By that metric, I'd say the person who would have to host the show is like Taylor Swift.
Oh my God. If Taylor Swift did this, you would have like 100% approval rating.
I agree.
Because I think the last people like us that are like, I don't want to, like, and I was saying, I'm not even anti-Taylor Swift. She does not exist in my world. I don't listen to her music. I couldn't name 4 songs.
Yeah.
Like, I have, like, old man friends that are like, you should really go listen to Taylor Swift. It's, like, world-class writing. And I'm like, or I could just read, like, actual good writing. Like, I can just like a grown adult man, I can
if
just
you're
read good writing.
Here's the thing: the person who writes most of her songs is this guy Jack Antonoff, who writes a lot of.
She doesn't even write her own fucking songs.
I believe he helps. Well, I think she writes her own songs. He produces.
Oh, they co-write.
He's like her go-to producer. Jack Antonoff. If you're an old emo like me, the way we know him is from this weird band he was in the late 90s, early 2000s called Steel Train, and that is like he became famous for other
like
kids
Neo
because
Steely Dan.
It was like really bad like fake country almost. But either way,
neither here nor there.
Neither here nor there.
There's not a lot for me that Taylor Swift does. Like, Taylor Swift isn't going to speak to the human experience in a way that I care about. I'm just kind of not that interested in breakups. You know what I mean? Like, that's not a place I need to explore.
But again,
much.
it's just. But I think Taylor
that's not
Swift
for me,
would be
right?
the
I don't
analog
begrudge
Richard Dawson
anyone
for this
like,
generation.
She's obviously like a fucking magnetic snake charmer of a person. Like, she has won over the world in a way that very few humans have ever won over the world.
Absolutely.
So Taylor Swift became the host of The Running Man.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And Taylor and like Travis Kelce was just like the fucking like security guard who's running around putting people in the tube.
LaFours? Yeah.
LaFleurs.
Isn't that the guy who
I gotta go get
LaFleurs?
more steroids. It's like, all right, settle down, LaFleurs. Let's not get all defensive. Right? I don't know why every steroid guy is like so defensive and mad that they're 1,000%. It's like, we know.
It's
you
fine,
know
man.
that we know. I don't know why you're like upset about that.
Yeah. Just
like
live your life,
me and
man.
you could take steroids all day. We're not going to look like that if we don't put the work in. Like, don't be mad, LaFleur.
Yeah. Don't be angry, LaFours.
Don't be fucking mad at us because you were 100% on steroids. I thought that was a fucking because he said it to Jesse the body fenter. Oh no, he didn't. He did say it to him
says
to
it to
tell
Schwarzenegger.
Okay, neither here nor no. He says it to him when he's like, "Get Ventura out of my office."
Yeah.
Okay, neither here nor there. And he's just like, "Did you just fucking passively aggressively insult me in the workplace?" He's actually very emotionally mature for a fucking steroid sadistic fucking bodyguard.
Well,
But
he
this
just
thing-
like
so Taylor Swift takes over The Running Man.
right.
She has 100% approval rating. Because now every guy like me that's like, well, Taylor Swift doesn't exist in my world. You're like, wait, she's killing people on TV. You're like, all right,
I guess I'm tuning in now.
I guess I'm going to check her out now. And then to watch her kill people on TV, then I got to fucking listen to some Taylor's. Like, she can open every show with a performance, and you're like, geez, that wasn't that bad. That was pretty cool.
That was pretty good.
Yeah,
Wow.
Shake It Off in this context becomes way more deep and
That's
interesting
her?
for me.
She did the Shake It Off song?
I think. I might be wrong. Because I remember that from the movie Sing, where the mom sings it with her 50 piglets.
I know Love Story from the
great moment.
Bear. I know that's her song, Love Story, right?
I'm sure she's so huge at this point that like I just heard a bunch of her songs through osmosis. Neither here nor there. But she starts off every performance, every show with a performance. And then Travis Kelce comes out with a fucking dude on a chain, like Danny McBride at the end of This Is the End. He's like, get in the tube. Get in the tube.
Right,
and he's like, Mahomes never threw me such perfect fucking passes. He's just putting these dudes down the chute.
Yep.
And then Taylor Swift's like, guys, we need to heal together. I know what it's like to be hurt. Check out my first 15 albums about heartbreak. You know who else heart's broken? America. And we're like, yeah.
And then they wheel out.
Because this was the reason The Running Man was also so cool to me as a kid, and why it'd still be cool to us now. It's just American Gladiators with cooler outcomes.
Yeah. No, that's exactly what it is. Absolutely.
And we all loved American Gladiators was a massive success. We loved that shit.
Absolutely.
Now, if someone's going to die a little bit, and this is the thing, if they were sitting there telling us that this guy, like if they came out and they're like, hey, we got this fucking derelict from Wisconsin, Jeffy Dahmer. And he's like, no, I was just making stew. I was making stew. And we're like, Jeffy Dahmer's going to
the Jedi.
Yeah, so Taylor Swift is reading us the fucking list of crimes of Jeffy Dahmer as Travis Kelce drags him out on his hands and knees in a fucking, like, Zardoz outfit with a chain around his neck.
Him, yeah.
Yeah, so he's just sitting there in his Zardoz outfit going, no, I just like Jedi. As Travis Kelce's pulling him out on a chain. Taylor Swift is like, and then he refrigerated 4 heads, right? We had the American audience to be like, yeah, we're okay to see this guy die. And then you go down in the tube and they just bring out all these old fucking like ex-wrestlers like Scott Steiner and Goldberger down there. And it's like, and now, Scott Steiner is, he's like a fucking evil chef. He's just like, let me tell you something, right? Yeah, we would go apeshit over this. Like, if you're thinking we wouldn't watch Goldberg and Scott Steiner in some kind of like Spirit Halloween style fucking occupation murder costumes.
No, we'd watch
chasing Jeffrey Dahmer in a Zardoz outfit with Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift pumping us up. We as a people have never been more ready for anything. It would heal America. The only problem with that is that Jeffy Dahmer 1,000% done it.
Yeah.
The problem gets into when they start killing, like, because then we're like, do we need... Because on the Running Man, you can win trial by jury, lesser sentence, or full pardon.
Yeah.
So it's like, that's where it gets in the gray area of like who decides who the running men are.
But they never actually full pardon the guys. They ended up.
Well, right. There's no full pardon.
There's really no full pardon.
The state can't do that. I do think that the state is actually the best villain in any movie, even better than Nazis.
The
Nazis are just the state, but you can fucking see their outfits.
Yeah. I mean, well, look, in any movie, a Nazi's always going to be the best villain no matter what. The second best
state
villain
is the best. The difference is you just can't punch the state in the face.
But see, they're one and the same, though, like, because by the time we get to, like, the state, when we're talking about, like, totalitarianism, it's basically Nazis. Because that's what it is.
But see, I like the shadowy, because, like, here there's no, like, fucking agents of the state that matter. Richard Dawson, like, lesser.
Sure.
But you're like, they're just these shadowy nobodies.
Well,
right? They're just,
I mean, but again, it's the same.
Life and self crushing.
Between Nazis and, you know, state-run propaganda television is pretty much the same thing. Like,
Nazis are just the state that you can punch in the face, which is cool. It's cathartic, but Nazis it's not as scary.
Nazis are just the state with, like, assigned wardrobe. That's all.
Yeah. And then you watch it, it's like now Nazis are just like in American History X, and you're like, it's still scary, but now it's kind of gross and sad.
Even in the movie, the security, they all have those SS helmets.
Yeah, they all have those like riot guards. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just saying the shadowy figure of the state, air quotes, is the best movie villain ever.
I mean, yeah.
It's the best movie villain ever.
It's all, to me, it all ends up being, again, it's all an analog. It's all an analog to Nazis.
And Nazis are glued to losers, right? Like, the fucking Nazis are fucking losers. You can't change history. They were wrong. They were not superior. They fucking sucked the world's butt. They just are pieces of shit. They were fucking wrong, and they got the biggest L's ever.
Yeah.
So now when you see a Nazi, it's almost like the generals when the Globetrotters roll them out. It's like, boo, we know you're going to get your fucking ass kicked in comical fashion. Right? Like, you know the Nazis ain't going to win. They already are the biggest fucking losers in history.
It is really, like...
Neither here nor there.
But it is like one of those things where... Because I just watched, like, we got through like 40 minutes of that Dial of Destiny movie, and I was like, I am so bored. I have to turn this movie off.
Oh, yeah, I didn't even have the guts to watch it.
But it was the same thing. I was like, I know how this is going to end. The Nazis will not make it out of this one. Just going to say it now.
Yeah, Disney's newest IP smash and grab. It's like, it didn't really fucking get my dick hard. I'll be honest. The only thing was that they had Fleabag in it, and that is like one of my favorite shows of like my entire adult life.
Yeah.
I can't remember her name off the top of my head.
Phoebe Waller-Bridge.
Yes. Just like, I am in love with that woman on like every fucking level of existence.
She's amazing.
Like, that show is one of the greatest pieces of art I've ever seen in my life.
Agreed.
So the fact that she was in it and like did some punch-ups, I was like, that kind of interests me. But seeing like 90-year-old Harrison Ford like trotting him out one more time, like that makes me sad. It's like Ric Flair keeps having fucking retirement matches, and it's like the tits are just a little saggier, the spray tan is just a little harsher. You know what I mean? Where I'm like, I don't want to watch an old man get his ass whipped.
So what you're saying is you would, in fact, not be a fan of Dynamo taking anyone out.
No. Dynamo is young and virile, as we see in his tidy whitey scene, where we're like, oh, not only is he a stalker, but now we know why he became a stalker, because he's 100% just a rapist.
Yeah, he's just a full-blown rapist.
Yeah, so Dynamo is just, living the high life of a fucking white opera singer who got Me Too'd, and now he's like, now I'm just a murderous Me Too rapist.
Speaking of that, actually, so there's the scene when before Amber it's like, yes, let's the actress, the actress's name is Maria, but yes, let's call her Amber.
One of the only non-white actors in the cast.
One of the only non-white actors in the entire fucking movie. They're like, her name's Amber. I'm like, okay. But when they marched Ben Richards like down towards like to the gameplay, like put him in his little speed suit or whatever, and they're sitting there talking, she's like, "You're so lucky. What if he had killed you, or raped you, or then raped and killed you?" Like, Jesus Christ, lady, what is your problem?
So there's a lot of I was gonna say, because I was like, the blonde lady. There's a lot of rape fantasies in this.
Yeah, what the hell is the matter with this woman?
Not great. What if he raped you? He raped you. It's like, stop saying rape. Stop saying rape. This was a weird thing that kind of existed. There used to be this theory that like a lot of women had rape fantasies. This was like a thing you would hear a lot when we were younger.
It was really popular, like hackneyed premise in like comedies.
Yeah, it's
like, come on.
Yeah, okay. It's neither here nor there. We got to talk about.
I don't want to do that.
So we do have to talk about. Yeah, because I was like, it's pretty much her and Fireball, and then Yaphet Kotto, who's fucking awesome. Love that dude. Like one of the great like character actors of this era with like all the action movies.
He's wonderful.
When he dies and he's like, "Don't let me die in vain." I was just like, "Yeah, fuck yeah, dude. What a word." The nerd, they're just like, "Yeah, melt the nerd. No one cares." Come to me, darlings. Oh! Okay. But Yaphet Kotto fucking rules. The only thing is, I was like, he did die honorably saving Arnold. Like, I wish they would have let him made it and maybe let Maria get murdered. That might be mean of me. But Maria was not doing much. I was like, all you did in this movie was punch Arnold in the balls and get him ratted out when we knew he was 100% innocent.
Yeah.
You are a cudgel of the... You are the fist hitting the fucking knuckles.
You are the fist of the state.
Yeah, you were punching the fucking testicles of freedom. So, like, it's hard to get over that with her. Neither here nor there. The stalkers are really, like, the selling point. If you're, like, a young guy watching this movie and you're like, something in this movie is going to kick ass for me, it is the stalkers. Because we've got Sub-Zero. Who's fucking right. I can't remember that actor's name, but he's fucking great too. Professor Toru Tanaka, right? He plays Sub-Zero, who's a hockey-themed fucking... Which is just... Because there's a scene when, like, they're fighting and Arnold just pushes him. And because he's on skates, he's just like, oh! And he flies back and hits the wall. And he has explosive hockey pucks that detonate when they hit things, but when he hits it hard with the goalie stick, it doesn't...
Apparently
it's just awesome. I was like, I love that we're just so we've got, let's see, we got
Buzzsaw and Dynamo,
and then we had Fireball, who was the legendary Jim Brown.
Was that really Jim Brown?
That's what it says on IMDb. I didn't think so either.
I don't think that's Jim Brown. Is that really him?
Is it not?
Jesus.
That's what it says on IMDb.
I saw that on IMDb too, but I find that very hard to believe.
It does not look like Jim Brown.
It doesn't, but it very well could be, I guess. Maybe I'm just used to him looking much older, but maybe I mean, like, maybe he just, you know.
Yeah, he's got the kind of like rogue hairdo going. Like, it's not like I did not put that together that was Jim Brown at all. So of the stalkers, who is your favorite stalker?
I think I love Dynamo. It's the
I was gonna say
one.
there's only one answer. I love like Buzzsaw is great in the movie.
Yeah,
I don't think Sub-Zero gets. His zone is... I was like, what if they don't go to the ice zone?
Yeah.
Like, what if they just don't go to the hockey field?
Yeah, what if they're in, like, just, you know, the gravel for the entire time?
Fucking vast wasteland, like an apocalyptic Los Angeles wasteland, and I see a hockey rink, I'm not going in there. I'm just not going in there. But yeah, so Sub-Zero, I love the actor. Cool idea. Probably my least favorite of the stalkers. Buzzsaw is fucking awesome. Like the scene of them fighting, he kills Yaphet Kotto.
Yeah,
he's dragging Arnold, gets flipped off, and then they're fighting. He gets killed by the balls.
Yeah, he gets
they
like
chainsaw to the balls, and then he goes. They give him that. So good. He's got these beady little fucking like husky eyes. Like, love that guy. Fireball does nothing for me. Fireball has a jetpack and a flamethrower, and he essentially just gets killed because of loose valves.
Okay, Fireball and Dynamo both have the same. They're like, oh no, my thing, go to commercial, my thing busted. You're like, wow, this is some world-class stalking. Well done.
Fireball, I think, is my least favorite in the movie just because he doesn't get enough run. And Arnold just blows him up with a flare. And it feels like if you're a fireball, you should be immune to getting blown the fuck up.
Come on. You don't have fireproof shit on you.
No one's ever tried to fucking pull your pipes out. It's kind of like Bane and Batman. Like every Batman story, he just like batarangs Bane's venom tube.
Yeah.
And then Bane's like, no. I'm like, never thought to like fucking encase your tubes? Like never? Like how many batarangs are going to cut your fucking tubes before? It's just something every time I see Bane, it like depresses me. I'm like, God, that sucks. Neither here nor there. Clearly, the greatest stalker is Dynamo. The fucking morbidly obese opera singer who is wrapped up in like fucking, YouTuber LED lights. I just love that because when he's trying to kill Maria, he essentially, because I don't even think he has to sing to activate his powers. That's just like flair he adds
just
to
like
the
part
character.
of his fun. That's part of the fun.
Well, when he's killing Maria and Arnold goes, hey, I can't remember what he says. It's like, hey, fatso, or something like that. But then the second one he says is, hey, Christmas tree.
I mean,
he says, hey, lighthead. Hey, Christmas tree.
Lighthead.
There's also the one where he kills Sub-Zero. I forgot about this line, which made me laugh. He's like, here's Sub-Zero. Now he's just plain zero.
Plain zero.
You're like, Arnold, that's higher than Sub-Zero. That's higher. Neither here nor there.
Sub-Zero is less than, but sure, whatever.
What a fucking rube. He's just the best. But Dynamo is this fat opera. So Arnold's like, hey, Christmas tree. And he's like, oh, shit. The thing that kills me is we didn't see him getting into his little Mario Kart. So he shuffles into his little Mario Kart. And he's chasing Arnold in this kind of Benny Hill style fucking runabout. And then Dynamo is like, this guy clearly has had a lot of mobility issues in his life.
Yes.
He saw that hill and he's like, yeah, this four-wheeler will make it. And rolls it. And he's just like, there, go to break. Help, help, help.
Oh, no. My lights. Go to commercial. No. What am I going to do? Like,
I just feel like the more...
What a stalker.
I'll say this. My doctor, on my chart, I'm listed as morbidly obese. I would say I'm not in the same category as
Not even
Dynamo.
close.
But when I went in to get my fucking sleep apnea test, my doctor did like kind of look at me and he's like, you're disgusting, morbidly obese guy. I was like, thanks, doc. I didn't need that. That shouldn't be on my permanent record. Thanks for that. But I'll say this. Like, you're a big guy. We're big guys. We know which chairs not to sit in.
Mm-hmm.
We know which things, like, yeah, I'm not going to try to climb that. Not that climbing happens often when you're our size. But, like, we know the world that we surround, and we can see what things are not made for people of a certain weight.
Yeah.
We know. There's no fucking chance that Dynamo slithers in this cart and he's not like, I know not to go at a 45-degree angle on this hill because the weight distribution's off, and I'm definitely going to roll it. It's pretty fucking funny.
I mean, it is just like one of those things where you're like, that is clearly obvious, and you should.
Dynamo fucking rules. I did not have on my fucking Running Man bingo card that he was going to come back as a hardcore rapist.
Yeah.
And he's you laugh at me? I'll show you dickless. And I was like, did she even say that? Or is that
I'm like, I don't.
Is that a fat guys can't see their dick thing? Like, what is happening right now? But when they show Dynamo in his full Christmas tree suit, but just with tidy whities, like, so the world is collapsed. We have all this futuristic technology, but tidy whitey technology
tidy
has
whities
not. Like tidy whities now, I feel like don't exist anymore. Like no one will get caught dead in tidy whities now.
Tidy whities.
It's boxers or briefs, but like Dynamo's like, I'm hanging traditional roles, and he's gonna rape until water happens.
Yeah.
It's an LA-based. This is an LA-based hero tragedy, right? Is that he's all glitz and glamour until rain comes, and then the infrastructure. Well, hero to the state, not to the common man, obviously. Yeah, once you are like a fucking opera fat rapist, now you're adding a lot of things.
I will say
he could have been a hero for body positivity. Right?
I'll say this.
We always like to see fellow fat white guys do good.
The funniest thing about Dynamo's like shtick about being like an opera singer is I'm like, wait, so in the future we're all like, well, we're in the future now, but in the future of the movie, that's like, oh, cool, in the future, everyone's like a bloodlusty scumbag, but they do have great taste in opera. So there you go. You're like,
yeah, but they care about opera? I just thought
this feels like a future that we should have just had, like,
of the post-apocalypse stalkers by far.
Yeah, definitely.
Even though I was glad he died too.
Also, he's like the worst stalker because you can see him from like a mile away.
You can hear his Gandolfini breathing.
Not really.
When they're fucking hacking in that tube, it's just like, God damn, is someone watching Sopranos too loud? What's happening? It's me, Dynamo. It's like, all right,
Dynamo.
That's me. Not all of us breathe like that.
No,
Not all of us breathe like.
No, but he deserves it because he deserves it because we caught him in his tighty whities. He didn't have his penis out. He couldn't even figure it out. He's like, dude.
Yeah, what the fuck, dude?
Like,
he's like, if you want to show you're not dickless, you don't have to be a rapist. Just fucking.
Yeah, what are you doing?
Just be a Louis C.K. Just be a.
I'll show you. Like, all right, cool. What? Are you just gonna rub fronts? You're weird. Like, you will get electrocuted doing that for sure.
So sad. That the tale of Dynamo. So true. Now that's an IP we need. I want to do a short fan film where it's just Dynamo preparing for battle. Yardley Ballymore. It's like, he has like a fucking like MacGruber scar, like cunt, where his dick got blown up.
He's just like, and he's just housing cold cuts.
Damn. I wanted to do that. I just fucking get a security camera in my house and let you.
I really want to make this.
Yeah, crying guy who just slams cold cuts. That could just be my house.
Dynamo, it's time. Yeah. All right, let me just grab this gabagool.
Paranormal Activity, the ghost of bad choices. That's my house. It's just me walking around crying. Neither here nor there. Yeah. That scene is cool, though, because that's where Ben Richards is like, I won't kill a helpless man, even a scumbag like you. And the crowd starts to turn. I think the movie has a slight miscalculation here because they're mad at Richards for not killing Dynamo.
Yeah.
And the movie does this kind of thing where I think they're trying to show us that is the first crack where subconsciously we as an audience know that the butcher of Bakersfield would not spare a guy. But also we do this false equation where really it's like they just like him as a murderer, so they want to start betting on him.
Well, yeah, that old lady was like, Ben Richards, he's a mean motherfucker.
Yeah,
I'm like,
I can bet on whoever I want. And then they start betting on him. So it's like, oh, they're not really here for like societal change and truth. They just want to fucking have better odds on their gambling apps.
Yeah, that's all.
It's like that also kind of tracks.
They just want better DraftKings numbers. That's all.
Yeah, you knew that he was going to get offered a stalker deal. Fine. I don't know that it's not ultimately satisfying the way they kind of bring down the state. There's cool scenes. Like I like Jesse Ventura's fake fight.
Yeah, that's fine.
Where they bring in Arnold's face.
Before the show, this is what I was talking like before the show. I told you I was like, it really ends on this sort of just like wet fart. You're like, all right, I guess that's the end of it. Because there is no like real drag down of the state. It's just like, all right, well, I guess Arnold gets the girl and they're going to Hawaii.
Yeah. There's no bringing down of the state, but there is a lot of wetness, dude. Those stalker suits are about to get fucking cream because they start and essentially that Dirk Diggler song comes on. You got the touch. Everyone's fucking hard as shit from watching Richard Dawson just get fucking 5G
just get annihilated.
And for some reason, the tube is shifted where it shoots people, and now he's blowing up his own advertisement.
And
then Arnold goes, "That hit the spot." And then she's like, hit my spot. And he's like, I will hit your spot.
I will hit your spot. Yeah, okay, the amount of the one-liners they give him, like after he 86s these guys, the one-liners they give him are all absolutely priceless. I
do love that they also say it's like the one sin that Richard Dawson committed was being passive-aggressive to his overly emotional steroid-fueled security guard who's just like, yeah, kill my boss on live TV. That's fine.
That's fine.
I don't have a contract for the state. I'm sure the state won't come back and take revenge. This is one of those, like, 5 minutes after the movie's over, you're like, is way more interesting. Because you're like, sure, Arnold and Maria might be fucking clapping it, but for sure they're just nuking LA from space the moment this is over.
It's the end of, It's like, oh, well,
they haven't won a battle. Nothing's free. Like, they're just blowing LA. And they'll switch to the hate boat or climbing for dollars. One of the other fucking fake shows we saw. Arnold didn't win a great victory against the state.
No,
they're not going to take this and run. And when they played the tape, they came in with guns, so the whole audience was running away.
The whole audience knows what's going on. They all ran away, but Arnold's just going to beat Cheeks, and then he's going to have to lead the revolution. That's all.
Yeah, and then
Yeah.
they're going to say, hey, that guy doctored his footage. And they'll be like, well, we don't know how to discern doctored footage. Right? Although they do know that Captain Freedom didn't kill him now.
Right.
It is a weird world of like high technology where no one seems to know what technology can do.
Yeah.
That's like a classic like 80s sci-fi movie problem. Neither here nor there.
It's a good, but see, like, to me,
I kind of wanted that Richard Dawson showdown to be a little more menacing.
I mean, you know, it would take 5 seconds. It's the guy who's the
I'm
host of
saying
Family
like they
Feud.
should have done like Marvel movies, right? Where it's like the loser all of a sudden is like, aha, now I have your same powers. Like he should have had his own like Running Man Krang suit. Where Richard Dawson's like, I knew it would come to this someday. And he's like, and he comes out in like the loader from Aliens and just whips Arnold's ass for a while. That would have been cool. That would have been cool.
I'll give you that. I would have watched that.
That would have been
Again,
righteous.
it would have been better than just like, okay, well, we'll just blow him up and then I'm going to go bang this lady. Like, all right. Thanks for the power ballad.
I was thinking, I was like, dude, what would be like a cool ass like stalker outfit? And I was like, I think what I do is I dress like the teacher from Van Halen's Hot for Teacher.
Yeah.
So I'd kind of look like Britney Spears from Oops, I Did It Again, but still with the beard.
Okay.
And I would just have like fucking apples that were bombs. Like, I'd eat an apple and throw a bomb at them.
Yeah.
Or maybe, I'm just Jim Belushi in The Substitute. I don't know what I'm going for here. But then you have like yardsticks. Like you used to get spanked by fucking rulers and shit. But they'd be like razor blade. You know, rulers used to have that metal edge so you could draw a straight line. What if those
you could
razors,
actually hurt
dude?
someone with them? Yeah.
Yeah. But I'd look like a hot for teacher.
Right.
But with my Jim Belushi body.
Okay.
And yeah, they could just call me Teach.
Okay. I was going to say,
And that's what the crowd would like. Teach.
Okay.
And I'd come out, my fucking balls maybe dangling lower than my Catholic schoolgirl skirt. There's a lot of confusion and intimidation.
Sounds like a dangling participle you don't want to have when you're going into the stalker zone.
Wow, that is highfalutin. No, but what I'm saying is I think it's like Batman said, right? Theatricality helps you win fights. So I'm coming out. If they're going to give me a fucking funny facade, I'm going to do it. And then that's the other thing. I'd have like the Black Bolt thing where like a teacher's like, quiet. So there you go.
Right.
That's like my superpower.
That'd be your super. Like you
That's
just
my superpower,
obliterate
yeah.
them with Sonic. Oh yeah, that's good. I like
Sonic crying. And then from the ceiling, I'd have like giant fucking pallets of paper dropped, like it's homework that would crush them.
Nice.
That would be my Running Man. Teach.
That's good. I like that.
So I think it should be kind of career based.
Sure. Yeah.
I think it's like porno. I think you write Running Men Stalkers like you write porno.
Yeah. I mean, there's no way you don't, because I got to say, there's not a lot of inventiveness in any of these guys' ideas. Like, fireball. He likes fire. Cool.
What if you were like
Buzzsaw.
a clown?
Buzz.
But like a sad, like a clown.
Like a Terrifier guy?
No, like an actual like sad French street clown.
Oof.
So it'd almost be like a miming arena.
Right. You would just like, oh, cool, Marcel Marceau's here. All
Yeah,
right.
and essentially you're like a waterbender in Avatar as your fucking tears come out and you can shape them. That'd be pretty cool. Clune.
It's just too stupid to even acknowledge.
I'm into clooning.
It'd be the only stalker that comes out and everyone's like, can we just kill him now? Like, just have him die.
No, they would
Nobody
love
likes
us,
clowns.
dude. Teach and clune.
Why do I have to be a clown? I don't want to be a clown.
Well, I was writing a character for you guys. We can go back to the whiteboard, Jesus.
Oh, okay, cool. I was just gonna say I probably would just be one of the running men's. That's all. I would not be a stalker. I would not be an effective stalker.
You would be the president's theatrical agent.
Oh my god,
It's so funny, dude.
there are so many like little asides in this movie that are just like, ugh,
So good.
close to
This
real
movie fucking rules. Like this movie just is
awesome.
like
It is awesome.
We kind of talked about this because we were texting in the Discord about the new Aquaman movie,
Yeah,
where we were all kind of like, we agree Aquaman sucks. Like no one's here to tell you that Aquaman's good. But we all also kind of settled on it's kind of the exact dumb fun movie that I just always enjoy. Like it reminded me of a comic book movie before they became these like have to intensify and propagate more IP movies. Where it's like, yeah, let's just go on a dumbass adventure with Aquaman. You're like, it would have been a perfect like little comic one-off, right? Like a 4-episode or 4-issue arc. Like it was just big dumb fun. And this, The Running Man to me exemplifies that kind of awesome, big dumb fun 80s action movie. Yeah. This one has that extra layer of kind of interesting and maybe way more insightful kind of story and world than this movie deserves.
Yeah.
Because this movie's not trying to use it at all, right? It's just a setting, and then they fill it up with action figures and bash them together.
Yeah.
But it is kind of this, of this genre of movie, it is in my top, like, handful of favorites.
Oh, yeah. I mean, for me, it's just, like, it's perfect 80s social commentary. Like, and, like, not over, like, beating you over the head with it either. Like, because obviously, like, the ending is just so, like, all right, well, there's an uplink, I guess. I don't know. Who cares? Like, it's, like, the least, like, the social commentary ending is, like, the least consequential ending you could come up with. It's literally just...
Yeah, because the state 100% 10 minutes from now is just fine and going to win.
Destroying everybody. Absolutely. Like,
there's no way.
Again, it doesn't matter. Like, but, yeah, it's just really dumb fun with, like, a little bit of social commentary, but mostly you're just like doing, video game levels, and that's fucking rad, man. I love that.
Yeah,
shit.
It's a Steven Seagal kind of thing, but he never has that extra layer where this just like you can have weirder costumes, you can have them running in an apocalypse, you can have a head explode because it's got a bomb in a prison. It just has those little extras that make it way fun.
Little things that make the science fiction of it more entertaining, a little more thrilling, a little better. That's all.
Yeah, to me, it's just like, it's the fucking, like, kind of low, smaller, basic beginnings. You see, like, a seedling of movies like Total Recall, and it feels like a genre we've just lost, which is the really funny sci-fi movie. Or not even funny, but, like, fun action sci-fi adventure. Even if it has, like, Total Recall has a ton of commentary, right?
Oh,
like,
yeah.
even if it's all his fucking dreamcation, there's a lot of, like, classism and that kind of shit. It's all fine.
I think making entertaining sci-fi with social commentary has kind of had to go away because we're taking ourselves a little too seriously now.
Well, now if it's going to cost any money, it has to be the start of like a fucking IP franchise, whatever.
Yeah. It can't just be like a shit ton of fun.
Yeah, like The Creator came out this year, which was kind of there's just like a sci-fi movie that snuck through, but it's not like The Running Man and Total Recall. Right? It's a genre I wish desperately would come back.
Yeah, I agree.
Because I love the set dressings of genre, right? I love horror, fantasy, science fiction. And then you just put them in these kind of like meaty everyman tales, right? Because it's like, sometimes I want to watch fantasy, but I don't want to learn about, what's this fucking tribe of elves called? What's that guy's fucking name? Laluthan? Like, I can't remember everyone's name. Like, I just want to watch.
What's nice about The Running Man is The Running Man
Ben Richards.
Yeah, The Running Man has very succinct world building, and again, it does the Griffey catnip at the top, which is your
all red title card.
All red title card with your crawl telling you how the world is now. You're like, great, I have all the information I need.
Crawl should come back too. That's something every movie should do.
I think the last time I saw it was Blade Runner 2049, and I was like, we're already way too long. This movie's already too long.
You did not need the extra 30 seconds, sir. Have a little restraint.
You are taking this for a ride. You, Denny, not cool.
I fucking love Running Man so much.
Same.
You guys better go fucking support the Patreon or Teach is coming for you. Teach and Clune are coming for you. Yeah. Alex has invisible weapons that he like mimes with.
That no one gets hurt by, yeah.
No, it hurts their feelings, though. It increases fear. So when I drop stacks of homework on them, they fucking feel it. And all my paper also gives you paper cuts 1,000 times. So you better support the show or else Teach and Clune are coming for you.
Those are real...
We need an artist. We need one of our patrons.
Those are real long con stalkers.
One of our patrons who's an artist needs to draw us as Teach and Clune. And that would be amazing. That's what we need. Our first fucking art of the year.
What a start to the year.
The never running men.
There it is.
All right.
That's the beginning of the year.
Great episode. Love it. Yeah. Patreon.com/FilmAlchemistPod. The YouTube Film Alchemist. You can also do Misfit Parade YouTube. That's always fun.
There's
We're in
some cool
concert
shit over
together.
there.
We're in concert together over there, guys. You can email the show, filmalchemistpod@gmail.com. Get on the socials. 5-star ratings and review. Misfitparade.net to see some of our work. That's it, guys. The Not Running Men have had enough. We need to go catch our breath and fucking eat cold cuts and cry.
Pass me the gabagool. There you go.
How dare you insult our people that way?
It's my people.
It's our people. It is exactly our people.